Fingerstyle Thursday. Hi kids. Now today we're here to talk about compound thirds, which don't have a very exciting name, but they have a very exciting use. Now, in all this piece I'm using compound thirds. Which sound gorgeous. And they used lots and lots and lots, some easier examples, James Bay, Scar Tissue, Blackbird, all use compound thirds. So they're a really, really sort of recognizable sound, but also really make a lot of chords even easier to play, especially for fingerstyle. So first up today, I'm using a low G. So these do work on a high G, but much, much, much better on a low G. So I'll dabble a bit about the theory and then let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about what third means, okay? If I took a note, for example, a C here, if I wanted to add a third to that, I could add a major third to that, which is the third note from the major scale, the C major scale. So if I played my major scale, that's the third note of my scale, 1, 2, 3. So if I place that on top of the C that I played, that is a major third, a C and a major third. If I did the same but with the minor scale, so still starting on C, and if I played the third note of the minor scale and put it on top, that's known as a minor third. Now, thirds are important because they're actually part of your chord. All chords are made of your first note, your third note, and your fifth note of your scale. So for example, a C major chord is 1, 3, 5 of a C major scale. A C minor chord is 1, 3, 5 of a C minor scale. So if I was to play C in a major third, it would look like that, 5 and 4. They're very next to each other. Now the word compound basically means more than an octave. So these two kids, you can see and hear, are very close to each other. But if I played this note here, which is an E, on the first string, that's much higher, much further away. Now that is way further away from our original starting point. It's still the third because it's still the E, but now it's much higher, so it's gone past the octave. And that is then a compound third. So that is a compound major third. And if I did the same for my minor, it would end up there, and that is a compound minor third. So when we talk about compound thirds, we're basically just talking about the third note is an octave higher than usual, and it's very far away, but we get these tones instead. If you're a bit like, fucking hell, Sammy, I got no idea what this is all a bit heavy. Then mate, I feel you. Music theory can be very scary, but it's also very not at the same time. So an easier way to think about this, okay, is basically if we find a C again on our 5th fret, 4th string. If basically you play the first string 2 frets higher, so that'd be 7th fret, play that with your pinky and just pinch those 2 notes, that's a major shape. So that's now a C major third. If we make it so basically then the third is a fret lower, so the 6th fret, this root note C doesn't change, that's now a C minor. So you have major or you have minor. Those are the only 2 compound third shapes that exist. So if we did this exactly the same 1 fret up, that'd be D on the 7th fret, D major, D minor. Done. Now, compound thirds are useful on the ukulele and the guitar because basically, instead of somebody strumming a C minor chord, you could pinch the compound third instead, which sounds quite nice, and play it like that. It has a different effect to it rather than the strum. So it just basically means it's a new way of playing chords again. But traditionally, like I said, it's more in a fingerstyle. They're not very good strummed. Okay, cool. Now this piece is going to be in C minor. Okay, so basically that means we have to utilize our C minor scale, and all I've done is harmonize correctly. So minor, minor, major, minor, minor, major, major, and back to minor. And straight away I know that's all the chords that I can use in the key. This is known as diatonic chords, or harmonizing the major scale. What is the point of that? It basically then means I've created a set of chords that all sound perfect together in any order what I like. So for composing, it's literally the best, or for just improvising, it's also literally the best. So I teach a lot of this. I have an upcoming course called the Fundamental Theory Workshop. It's a 5-week course, but I basically break down all this to do with scales, chords, harmonizing, everything like that, movable chord shapes. Please check out my website for more details, or I'll drop a link below. Cool, let's actually talk about this piece now and talk about the main shapes. So we're going to start off with a C minor. So again, that is C here with our index finger. Now for the minor, the 6th fret, you can either play this with your ring finger, or you can play it with your pinky finger. I would advise one of those two, just see which is more comfortable. Right, so once we've got that shape, this groove actually comes from Fingerstyle Fursday number 4. So if you want a non-compound third way of looking at this, having a look at this in regular chords, go check out Fingerstyle Fursday number 4. Now, it's sort of tremolo-esque, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to pluck the 4th string with our thumb, and then you're going to pluck the 1st string with your index, and then with your middle finger. So you sort of have a pattern of 3, 1, 2, 3. We're then going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to pluck the open 3rd string, and then 1st string again twice with our index and then middle. And that's another 3, 1, 2, 3. So really we have these 2 patterns of 3, and your thumb just alternates between the 4th and 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we basically finish that off with a 1, 2, which is 4th string, 1st string with your index finger. Now, if you think it's a bit weird as why we're going 3, 3, and then 2, it's because that adds up to 8. Music is usually based around in 4s. So if we're thinking of 16th notes, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, that's me done for half my bar, and then I have 3 E and a, 4 E and a, the same amount left, another 8 notes, which we're going to play the same pattern again. So let's try that again. 4th string, 1st, 1st, 3rd string, 1st, 1st, 4th, 1st. That might take a while to get this thumb nice, and also these 2 kids. Fingerstyle Fursday number 21 is a very good one for getting used to alternating these kids as well. So 4, 21, good practice as well. So let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we go. That is our pattern, basically, for all of the song. So once we've done the C minor, we're going to move down 2 frets, which is B flat. And this time it has to be a major chord because of the key. So that means pinky 2 frets higher. And we've harmonized that there. Okay, we're going to play exactly the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And we have that nice, again, C open string. Just running through. Cool. So then we move this exact shape down 2 frets. So now we're on 1st and 3rd. And that's an A flat major now. A flat, and because we've gone there, A flat major. If you wanted an A flat minor, then you just make sure it's 1 fret lower. You can play every chord like this. It's cool. And again, we'll play the same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then for our final bar, we're going to go back up to the C minor. Now, if you use your pinky for this and you just decide to use your pinky, you can basically crush the shape so you never have to leave the fingers. But that means you have to sort of change how stretched these 2 fingers are. A lot of people find that weird, so they prefer to actually, like I said, use the ring finger for a minor and then use the pinky for a major, so they can sort of distinguish major chord is pinky, minor chord is ring finger, whatever works for you. So we go back to our C minor, which is 5th fret, and then 6 on the top, and we're going to play this riff once, and then we're going to go down to the B flat here, 3 and 5. And that's our first 2 lines done. Okay, so the main thing will be just getting comfortable with that right hand pattern on a loop, first of all. So just sit with any of the chords and just sit looping that for a while before you start moving around. Okay, so the second half is very similar, but throws a big spanner in the works. So the first of all, we play this normal riff, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's fine. But then the second riff sort of changes, because we play our initial 1, 2, 3, which is 4, 1, 1. But then we're going to move chord to an E flat major, which is 8 and 10. And again, a major shape, so use your pinky. So for this one, we're going to start on 4, 1, 2, 3, and then play our 1, 2 as 3rd string, and then 1st string. So that's 4, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1. So that might feel a bit weird because we come from the 4th string, 4th string again, and 3rd string. So it changes the thumb pattern. So you got to watch out for that. Very tricky, nice and slowly. So the first one stays the same. Second one changes our pattern. So then we move down to the E flat and we do exactly what we just did. We're going to zoom straight back up to that E flat. So this is a real test of how quickly you can move those compound thirds. Now, from the B flat to the E flat, they're both the same shape, so your fingers shouldn't have to leave the fretboard. You might feel the skin slowly dying from your fingers, but it's much better that they don't come off the fretboard there, okay? So that's your B flat, up to your E flat. Then we're down to our A flat here. Now this one, instead of going all the way up to E flat, we're going to jump up to B flat, 4th string, and then we have our 3. So still the same jump that goes up here, 4th string, 4th string, 3rd string. So still the same movement, but actually we're just going 2 frets higher instead. And then the last bar is the same as the last bar from the first part. We're on the C minor for half a bar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we move down to our B flat, 3 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now on the sheet, there is a repeat marker, so you do go back to the C minor where you run up to the E flat there. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I think it fills out the piece quite nicely. So do what you want, that's totally cool. But like I said, the main thing is trying to get that pattern at the moment and just get confident in looping it. Fingerstyle 4, Fingerstyle Thursday 21, both very good for this kind of thinking. So go check them out if you haven't already. Cool, thank you so much for listening to me waffle on yet again. Sheets are always on Patreon every week. If you fancy liking and subscribing, that'd be lovely. If not, I'll see you next week.